All right. Make sure that mic, speakers and mic. All right. All right, y'all. So first I want to start this shit out by saying shout out to Travis Majors, Omegas, Omegas, depending on how you want to pronounce that word. But I can't get that shit out the way. How about you go up and I can bring this further down? Or not? So what we're gonna do today is so we've been reading a book by Dion called Cosmic Doctrine, right? I ain't never tapped into none of her books, but obviously that's the Cosmic Doctrine. Since I got the what's the name in the background, it ain't gonna if I get it closer, it's gonna erase it. But we've been reading the Cosmic Doctrine, bro, and I'm saying some real deal, some heavy occult shit, some like breakthrough informational type shit. You deal what I'm saying? And um so he was like, yo, y'all need to tap back into chapter 5 of the mystical Qabalah. And you also need to tap into the Top with Shooter book, chapter 12. So I'm like, all right, bro, when I get a chance, I'm gonna tap into it. Good. So decided to take me a moment of leisure. You know what a nigga did, right? Yeah, you know what a nigga did. Yeah, you do. You know exactly what a nigga did. You know exactly what a nigga did. I went and picked up the goddamn book. So I actually got it over here with me, but I'm gonna try to do some reading on the screen. So, you know what I'm saying, to keep the content actually looking right. You know what I'm saying? Because can't nobody see the book if I'm reading this way. So let's go in. And it actually taps into, man, check this out, y'all. Y'all gonna fuck with it. If you on any type of occult shit in general, you gonna fuck with it. So let me zoom in as much as I can, right? No, not turn the page, man. I wanted to turn the page, man. All right. Make sure that it's actually showing up on the screen. It is. You got my big head ass up there too. I, I just want to make this shit as clear as possible. Because I can't see exactly how it's gonna look on a recording. All right, so look, we talking about the chapter 5, right? We should know what the Kabbalah is. If not, I'll probably use the video. Matter of fact, if you're watching it, you can pull up a picture on YouTube. I mean, on Google, right? You can actually hear people who way more adept in this shit than you. But this shit right here just been hitting me at a point like, damn, this white bitch Dion Fortune, that bitch ain't no hoe with this shit, why? That's all I'm gonna say. She ain't no hoe with this shit. So, all right, let's get up here first. So she says, right here. The esotericist, when endeavoring to formulate his philosophy for communicating to others, right? So when he's trying to get his words together to talk to others, right? He is confronted by the fact that his knowledge of higher forms of existence is obtained by a process other than thought. This is what this shit about to be about, thought. So if we take an understanding of that thought is a lower form of manifestation. It's very much so a human form. Actually, and that now that I'm reading the Cosmic Doctrine, it talks about reactions, right? This thought form is actually a reaction. You see what I'm saying? When you think it's a reaction, you see what I'm saying? It's actually an effect of the cause, of a cause, right? So, and you have different levels of planes. You have a causal plane, a plane that is the cause for everything that's an effect. And everything that's an effect is basically, when you have a thought, right? Like I think about, damn, what if I had something to write with, right? What if I had something to write with? You know what I'm saying? To put words on a piece of paper or put words on another substance, right? And that happens on your level of causal plane, right? On your level of thought. The next thing you know, you come up with the pen. Boom. a pen, a pencil. That's the effect. You see what I'm saying? So it's things that happen on the effect, on the causal plane, that come down to the effect. And these effects are what we deal with in manifest reality, real deal reality, what we call real deal, right? Which may not be that. So give me 1 second. Yeah. Oh shit. Nigga, camera never fell on. All right. So let's make sure we still got the audio rolling. Is audio, all right, audio still good, right? All right. So that's what we looking at. We're looking at thought. Thought is actually, because once you get into the spiritual shit, you understand, like, damn, you know what? You got to stop thinking. You see what I'm saying? You have to get to a point where you don't have to think, because think and thoughts are really forms of the ego. The ego trying to make sense of what it is seeing, or what the senses are feeling, to be more exact. The taste, touch, smell, see, feel, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the rest of the senses are. Your ego is trying to make sense of it. And it says, and this process only commences when thought is left behind. And what is she talking about? The knowledge of higher forms of existence. So you can't get to knowledge of higher forms of existence until what? Until the part commences where thought is left behind. You have to stop trying to make sense of shit that's actually a play on the ego. That is an actual concept or product of the ego, right? Consequently, it is only in that region of consciousness which transcends thought that the higher form of transcendental ideas is known and understood. All right. And it is only to those who are able to use this aspect of consciousness that he can communicate his ideas in original form, in their original form. When he wants to communicate these ideas to those who have no experience of this mode of consciousness, like the type of way that I'm breaking shit down to you, you know what I'm saying? And like without without fucking it up. And she gonna get to that, right? And because like some of these concepts, it's very hard to explain, let alone the English language, but in a way that a normal human being or a human can really understand. It's not even just you about being a human, it's the levels of consciousness that we have. Like our mind creates certain blockages, which in, like, you've heard of veils, right? So our mind create these certain veils that can't be pierced because the conscious mind is gonna block it, right? And if you deal with any form of magic, you understand what I'm talking about. Um, okay, when he wants to communicate these ideas to those who have no experience of this mode of consciousness, he must either crystallize them into form, right? Make it into something physical to show, to give a physical representation, or not even necessarily physical representation, you know what I'm saying, but crystallize it in some way, some form into the material. And we'll get to what that actually is. Into form or fail to convey any adequate impression. That's gonna be the only way that you're gonna be able to make sense to let somebody understand what the fuck you're talking about. Because it's not comprehensive in words. It can't be spoken in words. It's not that there's not a word for it. You can't formulate words for it. God damn, I hope that made sense to y'all. I know it made sense to me. Mystics have used every imaginable simile in the endeavor in the endeavor to convey their expressions. Mystics have, right? Every simile that they can use, and you get that in the Bible, right? In the words that they speak in similes and metaphors, right? They speak in certain terminology that it's the best way that they can get it to folks. But people like make it very literal, and that's where they fuck up at. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Philosophers have lost themselves in a maze of words, using all these big ass, nice ass words these niggas use, in all to no purpose, so far as the illuminated soul is concerned. You see what I'm saying? These are nice, beautiful words, and you know what I'm saying? They can put you in a dreaming state, but they do just that. You know what I'm saying? It's not really giving an accurate description that the mind can actually use to conceive what we talking about in this unmanifested reality, or this illuminated, as far as the illuminated soul is concerned. The Kabbalists, however, use another method. The Kabbalists, in which we're studying the Qabalah, right? They do not try to explain to the mind that which the mind is not equipped to deal with. We ain't gonna be able to deal with it on your level of thought. You see what I'm saying? We ain't even Kabbalists already know this, so they ain't gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? With certain things, and we'll get to what she's actually talking about. They give it a set. They give it a series of symbols to meditate upon, and that's key. That's key because you're getting that into the subconscious mind. You see what I'm saying? You plant these seeds through the subconscious mind, and these enable it to build the stairway of realization, step by step, into climb where it cannot fly. It ain't no shoo, straight to it. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. Steps. 1 2 step, 1 2 step, 1 2 step. Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. It's a gradual process. It's not a straight to it process. You did what I'm saying? Um, the mind can no more grasp transcendent philosophy than the eye can see music. So this philosophical terms are on a transient level, nigga. You ain't gonna be able to get that with the way you think. No more than the eye can see actual music being played. Okay, I gotta go through this a little fast, y'all. I ain't gonna be doing this all day. The tree of life, right? Number two, the tree of life, as cannot too often be emphasized, is not as much as a system as a method. Those who formulated it realized the important truth that in order to obtain clarity of vision, one must circumscribe the field of vision. You want to draw this shit out. You're gonna have to draw this shit out. And I actually look up what circumcised mean. It's like using geometry and connecting these shapes and figures. Even though they're separate, they're actually connected together, my nigga. They actually connected in a certain type of way. So that actually is a perfect way to describe the way the Kabbalah looks. Matter of fact, let's pull up a picture. Hold up. Boom, boom, nigga. Book 'em. I'm like, book 'em. Hold up. Let me make sure y'all can see this shit. Okay, yeah, y'all can see it. Okay. I think this will be the best. That's too much going on. We just need to show niggas. Walmart got a picture of the Kabbalah. Ain't that some shit? Damn. Damn. We want that motherfucker with that Darth sitting in the back door. We don't want that petty shit. Boom. Have me about the best one we can do right now. We ain't trying to go too fancy. We just want to be fancy enough. So niggas can get the gist. All right. Oh, come on, man. We ain't trying to sit here and read all your shit. We already got the book. Let it show the picture. Listen, come on, man. Niggas want to make you join a club and a little cult and shit. Give me the picture, my nigga. All right. So this is what the Kabbalah looks like, y'all. And this is what they talking about with circumscribe, right? Circumscribe. I really could have left it right there. Let's see how the other page look. I mean, I'm doing this to make sure it looks right for the YouTube. All right. So, all right. So it's levels to this shit. Manifestation is down here. That's where we at. That's where the physical body at. and everything that comes along with it, the senses and all that shit. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an adept on this topic. I've heard it spoken on lightly. Matter of fact, when I first came into consciousness, my first representation of, hold up, my first representation of this was through Phil Valentine. Dr. Phil Valentine, he had a long, but probably like a 10-hour video on that shit. I still got the notes on that shit. And I thought it was the most evil shit. I'm like, oh, because in the context he was speaking on it on, right? I thought these certain groups of people, you can't say their name, these certain groups of people who studied this and knew this, they were the evil people. You know what I'm saying? Because I had that concept of evil and good back then. Good and evil, God, devil. We got to fight back, right? So it said those who formulated it, and what we're talking about is the Qabalah, what I just showed y'all right here. Right here. Those who formulated it realize the important truth that in order to obtain clarity of vision, one must circumscribe the vision of the field of vision. Most philosophers flounder their system upon the absolute, right? You've heard about the absolute in these certain forms of philosophy, right? This is a shifting foundation, but the absolute is a shifting foundation, right? For the human mind can neither define nor grasp the absolute. Some others try to use negation for their foundation, declaring that hold up, damn it, I knew it was going to be the next page. Damn it. Okay. But some people try to, most philosophers founded their system upon the absolute, but this is a shifting foundation. The absolute is a shifting foundation in the cosmic doctrine. She actually break it down. It's actually this series of three. It's three rings. She broke down of what the actual absolute is, right? And it's okay. I ain't gonna go too far. It is a shifting foundation, for the human mind can neither define nor grasp the absolute. Some others try to use a negation for their foundation, declaring that the absolute is and must ever be unknowable. Unknowable. Ooh. That's based on their limitation. But she gonna get into it. I ain't really gotta explain shit. The Kabbalists do neither of these things, right? Kabbalist was a Kabbalist, a person who studies a Kabbalah, nigga. And the Kabbalist does neither of these things. They content themselves with saying that the absolute is unknown to the state of consciousness, which is normal to human beings. You niggas some humans. We all got a level of human in us, though. Because I am a human still, but I'm not at the same time. You see what I'm saying? I am this and I'm not this at the same time. I'm here and I'm not here at the same time. For the purposes of their system. Therefore, they draw a veil at a certain point in manifestation, not because there is nothing there. We draw a veil there, right? I mean, a person who studies the Kabbalah, and I feel like I have a general concept and understanding of this. I'm not the most in depth in this, but I've heard enough and able to conceptualize enough to know, like, I think on these levels of states, this state of mind, or outside of the state of mind, what I'm trying to get. But I can think and fathom the things that I'm reading. Like all this already makes sense to me, and I've never studied the Kabbalah, right? And come on. Because you got teachers like Bobby and Panic and Phil Valentine who broken it down enough for you to be able to get yourself, your state of mind in that mind state. You get your mind state in that state, concepts will be able to be understood. Now, she's going to drop on shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's going to drop on shit like that. So, obviously, the Kabbalists, they content themselves with saying that the absolute is unknown to the state of consciousness, which is normal to human beings, which is what we're trying to what's the word, transcend this level of thinking as humans when you become a spiritualist, or you become an occultist, or you deal with esotericism, or you deal with eschatology type shit. You see what I'm saying? When you're dealing with the afterlife, the spiritual realm, anything God, any level of God, when you're dealing with this level, the hidden parts of it, this is what we're trying to actually get to, right? For the purposes of their system. Therefore, they draw a veil at a certain point in manifestation. But check this out. Not because there is nothing there, but because the mind as such must stop there. Okay? When the human mind has been brought to its highest stage of development in consciousness, can detach itself and, as it were, stand upon its own shoulders. So you got to get to, so what we're trying to do is get to that point. So we got to do is get to that point of how we stand outside, well, we're our consciousness, because the thought is actually a form or is a product of the consciousness, right? Because all this existence is consciousness, right? So you got to get to where you can detach from that. So you know how you hooked up with a cord, with a wire, you know what I'm saying? Now you got to upgrade, bro. You got to go get the wireless shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, how we used to do dial-up computer, eventually you got to upgrade. You got to evolve to this level, right? Well, now you got Wi-Fi. This is the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's the same. It's the same thing, the same energy being put in and outputted, but it's another level of it, right? It's another hidden level of it, right? So this other hidden level of it is now wireless. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it may be even stronger, have a faster speed connection, right? So when you learn how to disconnect, when the human mind has brought it to its high stage of development, has been brought to its high stage of development, and consciousness can detach itself and, as it were, stand upon its own shoulder. So your consciousness got to stand on its own 10, nigga. You see what I'm saying? Fuck the game. You got to stand on your own. We may be able to penetrate the veils of the negative experience. Now, I want y'all to understand when she's speaking of negative, it doesn't mean evil or bad negative. All right. She gonna explain what negative is. I don't even want to do it. As they are called. Well, it may be negative to you. It just depends on your level of mental development, right? But for all the practical purposes, we can understand the nature of the cosmos if we are content to accept the veils as philosophical conventions, right? It's convenient for them to say, oh, it's a veil that we can't go past. You know what I'm saying? The absolute, nothing can go past the absolute. It's real convenient for them to say that because they can't perceive anything higher than it, which is the ego, right? That's the ego making these consumptions or assumptions that we can't go past it. In a sense, they're right? Because the human conscience in a normal way of thinking can't go past that. Matter of fact, in any type of thinking capacity, you ain't gonna be able to go past that. You ain't gonna be able to go past that. So in a sense, they're right, but they can choose to update their goddamn system. You see what I'm saying? They system compatible, or maybe it's not, but they system should be compatible with Wi-Fi. All right. And realize that they correspond to human limitations. So this physical this I gotta put my shit on do not disturb. Had to put the phone on do not disturb, shit blowing up. And realize that they correspond to human limitations. So this philosophical veil that you can't get through or you can't understand about, it's not meant for you to understand. And realize that this is corresponding to human limitations, not cosmic conditions. So it's not that nothing don't exist outside of it, outside of this so-called absolute of this veil. It's just the human limitations of this shit, right? Not cosmic conditions. When we speak in cosmic, we talking bigger than the galaxy. When we talking the galaxy, we talking bigger than the universe. Cosmos, nigga. All right. The origins of things is inexplicable in terms of our philosophy, right? It ain't explainable, right? In our philosophy. However, However far we push our inquiries back to the origins in the world of manifestation, we find a preceding existence. So no matter how, if we push as far back as we can go, what we're gonna end up finding is something else existed before this. Something existed outside of this. The farther you go back, it's something that existed before that that created this to exist. Oh, damn, you go back. It's something that it created for this to exist, and this is like the shit keep going back, right? It is only when we are content to draw the line, to draw the veil of negative existence across the path, which leads back to the beginnings, that we get a background against which a first cause becomes visible, right? So only once we use this veil that people made a limitation. So no, don't make it no limitation. I tell you what you do with it. Make that shit a bridge or a path. You see what I'm saying? It's all about how you conceptualize this shit, right? Because it's all about levels of the mind, levels of consciousness, levels of awareness. So if you use this shit as a bridge to get over the veil instead of using you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say this. So then let's say a wall crumbles, right? Or a building crumbles, right? And you up under the rubble, right? Those same things that were steps are now your veil, because you crumble, you up under these sets of steps. You see what I'm saying? You stuck under these sets of steps because the building has crumbled. You still alive, but you stuck up under it, right? So now, and it's on top of your body. Now the same things that were used as steps is used as your ceiling, your cap, your veil. No kissing. You did what I'm saying? But guess what? You rebuild this thing, and now you can use these steps to goddamn go up or go wherever you fuck you couldn't go at first, motherfucker. And this first call is not in this first call. Okay, they say which leads back to the, after we understand that, using the veil as an actual path, which leads back to the beginnings, that we get a background understanding, which a first cause becomes visible, right? So something comes from somewhere, and then it comes into existence. And when it comes into existence, it's a cause. It's a cause of something else. She gets into what that is, right? So it's a cause. Everything we dealing with here in the manifest reality is cause. But it goes up, right? Because we look at this and this says manifestation, right? So what you talking about in that first cause, this is the first cause. Because outside of this cause is something up here. Something up here is the unmanifested reality, that, you know what I'm saying? The great nothingness, nigga. The Ein Sof and Ein so far exists up out of here. And it has a consciousness or awareness. Boom, when it first thinks of something. Some niggas may call that the Big Bang. Boom. First existence. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, nigga, we gonna do that shit like that. Blood on blood. Put my Crips on cuz. And the first call is not a rootless origin, but a first appearance on the plane of manifestation. What I just showed you, right? Thus far and no further can the mind go back. This the cap for the human mind. I'm thinking she talking about the human mind, right? This is where it stops at for the human mind, right? But we must always remember that difficult minds go back. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. This right here is where she talking that shit though. Like, hold up. Right? This what she here getting in that shit, like letting niggas know, like, hey, it's levels to this shit. You see what I'm saying? And maybe this ain't your incarnation to get this certain level of shit. Or maybe you can build up this level of awareness awareness or comprehension. God damn it, because now I'm thinking about what the word comprehension mean. How does that, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but is levels to this shit, what she's saying. All right. Please understand what she's saying. There's levels to this shit, and this is what she's getting to. right? Because some of this shit is going over a lot of people's heads. Some shit, this is like, damn, okay, this is cool. You see what I'm saying? And the people like, damn, this is cool. Or people who've already heard, like, yeah, you know what he talking about? No, the fuck he don't know what he talking about. I done this shit and studied it. It's either or. It really don't make me no difference. I'm a student. So, but this is my level of understanding with it, and I feel like I'm pretty spot on with the understanding of this shit, right? I don't feel lost anywhere in here, but um. she's saying it's different levels to this mind to this shit, right? But she said, right? Because she said that first level of manifestation is as far as the human mind can go. Remember, the human is all the way down here. The physical body, five senses is all the way down here. Boom. This is the farthest the human mind can go, right? But she says, look, but we must always remember that different minds, right, go back different distances. And for some, the veil is drawn in one plane. Ooh. For some, they just can't perceive anything of the sort. Conceive, perceive, see anything after this certain veil has been placed on him. And for others in and for others in what? Oh, okay. Okay, my man. Thus far, no man can further go back, but we must always remember that different minds go back different distances. And for some, the veil is drawn in one plane, and for others in another. Right? So certain people can only get past certain veils. You see what I'm saying? The ignorant man goes no further than the concept of God as an old man with a long white beard who sat on a golden throne and gave orders for creation. And it's not ignorance as you stupid. It's ignorance in the sense of you don't have a concept of this, or you're not aware, or you're not knowledgeable of this. Because I'm very ignorant when it comes to my times tables, but I can get shit like this. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to use my fingers using timetables, so I'm ignorant in that sense. You see what I'm saying? But there's another level, right? The scientist will go back a little further before he is compelled to draw a veil and then call it the ether. So the scientists stop at the ether. Maybe they even stopping at dark matter right now. Because who knows how long ago she wrote this book. Maybe they veil is just dark matter. And then, because that can be perceived as a great the triple blackness of space, you know what I'm saying, on so far. So I don't want to stick with that because I get stuck there trying to break that shit down. But in the philosopher, what will he do? We'll go back yet further before he draws a veil and calls it what? The absolute. The philosopher gonna call it the absolute. Man, I really hope. What if my head is in the way? Well, my head all in the way, y'all can't read it. Oh well, get the book, nigga. I got the book. It's on Amazon. But the initiate, what will he do? Will go back furthest of all because he has learnt. Ain't he? No, you spelled learnt like that for real. I just thought that was what ignorant niggas like me in the street would say. You ain't learnt that. You ain't learnt that. But the initiate will go back the furthest, all because he has learned to do his thinking in symbols. Boom, boom, boom. If you know anything about the occult shit, shout out to Brother Pan, long live pimping on a wheel, panrific. He said the way to program the subconscious mind is trauma, symbols, and repetitions. When you go to sleep and have dreams, your brain, your subconscious mind speaks to you in symbols. That's why everything is symbols, bro. Everything, bro. Everything, bro. Everything is symbols, bro. You gotta understand what a symbol is. She's a sex symbol. Man, I'm not even gonna go to it. Symbols, though. All right. And symbols are to the mind what tools are to the hand what tools are to the hand, right? Symbols are to the mind what tools are to the hand. Simple. I ain't got to break that shit down. An extended application of its powers. You can dig a hole with your hand, nigga. You really can. But, you can extend that power that you have to dig a hole and make it way less easier. You see what I'm saying? Work still got to be done, right? But use that instead of using that hand to dig a hole, nigga, use a shovel. All right. The Kabbalist takes for his starting point Kether. Let's see what Kether is. The Kabbalist, he starts here. He starts right there. Remember, human existence is down here, right? Or the human manifestation is down here. Nigga. The crown, the first sephira, which he symbolizes by the figure 1. Okay. Unity. Okay. And by the point within the circle. You see the circles with a dot in the middle? Okay. 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 God, nigga. Okay. From this, he traces backwards the 3 veils of negative existence. From this, he traces backwards the 3 negative veils of existence. Unsof, and unsofar. The triple blackness of space. You done heard, Bobby. You done heard shit Phil Valentine here. You done heard Brother Pan. This is quite a different matter. This is quite a different matter from starting at the absolute and trying to work your way forward into evolution. It may not yield immediate, accurate, incomplete knowledge of the origins of all things, but it enables the mind to make a start, right? And unless we can make a start, we have no hope to finish. Nigga, start. Nigga, just go. Nigga, quit thinking. We already talked about thinking. Stop thinking. Think too much. Well, what am I shit ain't record my voice? Yo, okay. Young nigga. Damn it. God damn you. God damn you. Look. I'm on then on so far, nigga. I was just talking about that. So it's in this book. She breaks it down. Here, this probably where it come from, the whole term. Damn, y'all, what the fuck was I at? Yeah, this is a quite different matter from starting from the absolute and trying to work backwards, trying to work forwards into evolution. It may not yield immediately accurate and complete knowledge of the origins of all things, but it enables the mind to make a start. And unless we can make a start, we have no hope of finishing, nigga. Okay. The Kabbalist, right? The person who studies the Kabbalah and understands the paths, right? And the sephiros, which are the circles, right? Then starts where he can at the first point that is within the reach of the finite consciousness. Right? He can start at the first point that he can reach of the finite consciousness, right? Which is not the infinite. It's not the infinite consciousness, but it's a finite conscious level of consciousness. Kether is either equated with the most transcendent form of God that we can conceive, right? So if you understand who Jesus was, right? Jesus was Tiferet, the Son, harmony, came to bring balance to the world, right? You see? You can only get to me, you can only get to the Father, the crown, if you go through me. Look, there's a path. There's a path from a human being on up to Jesus, and that's supposed to be hidden, but it's not, which is death or death. And it's called knowledge. And then you get to the crown, right? These are what these words in these Bibles meant. Whose name is I can't say that word. He. Whose name is a he. He. Translated in the authorized version of the Bible as I am. I am that I am. Or more explicitly, the self-existing one, the pure being, Kether, right? But these words are words and nothing more, unless they convey an impression to the mind, because everything's about symbols. You imprint symbols on the mind. That's what they do on your movies, on your TV shows, on the clothes you wear, on the food you eat, on the canned goods, on whatever you eat and whatever you do, whenever you see. Symbols have to be imprinted on the mind, right? And in themselves, they cannot do that. They must be related to other ideas before they have any significance, right? It's not gonna make no difference if they ain't got no significance to you. These symbols, right? These words are not gonna make any difference to you if you don't have nothing to compare them with or relate them to. We only begin to understand Kether when we study Chokma. You know where we okay. The second Sefer, right? So we ain't gonna understand this one till we get to this one, which this one, which is the one she's talking about, comes from this one though. But you ain't gonna understand this one until you understand this one. And why is she saying that? The second Sephra, its emanation, it is only when we see the full unfoldment of the 10 Sephira that we are ready to approach Kether. And then we approach it with the data that gives us the key to its nature. And working with the key, I'm working with the key. And working with a tree, it is wisest to keep on going over it rather than to concentrate upon one single point until it is mastered. See, that's how they teach you in school. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like when we go to school, they make you stay here until you pass it, till you get it. You see what I'm saying? That's not the way the mind really wants to work. So that's how we fucked up in this way, a way that we live in this now society, right? Because a lot of people get educated, and we've all been through some level of school, so we've been educated in a certain way, right? So now our minds are programmed in a certain way to only, well, I can't learn nothing else until I get this. Because they teach you that in school. If you don't get it if you don't finish it at the end of third grade, your ass getting held back and flunk. I flunked twice. You wouldn't know that if I wouldn't have told you. You see what I'm saying? The second one had something to do with my grades because really I didn't give a fuck about school. One that I was stupid. I'm gonna tell you that now. I just didn't care about the shit. It was stupid. I was in the street. That was way more important. But the thing is that they teach us in a certain way in Western society, bro, to where when you get into spiritual shit, people can't comprehend it because of the way their brain has been trained. You gotta stay here until you master it. And if you don't master it, you're a failure. You see what I'm saying? And this is, it is wiser to keep on going over it. It is wiser to keep on going over it rather than concentrate upon a single point until it is mastered. For the one thing explains another. And it is out of the perception of relationships between different symbols and different symbols that the enlightenment arises. Okay, let's read that again. And it is out of the perception of the relationship between the different symbols that enlightenment arises. So after you see the relationship to all these different symbols, like, oh, damn, I get that. Those and aha moments is what enlightenment is, right? Now you get it. Again, we say the tree is a method of using the mind. It's a method. Once you learn all these points of the tree, you understand that it's a method of using the mind. It's not a system of knowledge. Like you go to school and you learn this. I went to school of technology. I went to school of how to be a teacher. I went to school of how to be. It's not a school, it's not a system, right? But it's a method of symbol, it's symbolic right? It's symbolic in nature to train the mind. I like how Dion Fortune said that in this book over here. She said, look, the images are designed to train the mind, not inform it. It's not for you to get smarter on your intellectual level. That's not what this is for, right? The tree is a method of uh the tree is a method of using the mind, not sounding smart with it or the brain, nigga, not a system of knowledge. But at the moment, we are not engaged in the study of imitations, but of origins, of origins, so far as the human mind may hope to penetrate them. And paradoxical as it may appear, we shall penetrate further when we draw the veil across them than when we try to pierce the darkness. So you use that bridge instead of just trying to go straight in. It's gonna block you. It's gonna block you. Here time. We will then sum up the position of Kethler in one sentence, a sentence that can have but little significance for the student approaching the subject for the first time. So if this is your first time hearing, it's gonna have little significance to you. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hold that much weight. You did what I'm saying? It ain't holding that much like that type shit. Is you like that? If you're not like that, it ain't gonna be the type shit that you really gonna fuck with or really understand. Yeah. But which must be born in mind. And I looked up that version of born. I'm like, damn, that's like Jason Bourne. Okay. Born, this type of born means transfer or carry. But which must carry in the mind, basically. For its significance will be drawn, will begin to dawn. What does that word say? Presently, nigga. It'll start to dawn on you presently, right? Hold on, what the fuck am I at? Okay. In so doing, we are adhering to the ancient esoteric tradition of giving the student a symbol to incubate till it hatches in his mind. Plant a seed. That's all this for. The sentence that they about to give, that's what it's for, to plant a seed. And like I said, I've been heard about this shit when I first came into consciousness about 2013, 2014. Once I first wanted to start learning shit, and I got tired of seeing niggas in New York arguing and bickering. I'm like, damn, I'm slicker intellectual, so I want to know some deeper shit. Phil Valentine had a 10-hour video breaking this shit down. Had my notes, had a little bit of money then, and I took my black ass right up there and bought me some notebooks and pens, nigga. Sat there and started trying to study. I didn't fully get it. My mind blocked it because I wasn't ready for it yet. You see what I'm saying? So it had some, I knew it was important, but I didn't know how important it was. You see what I'm saying? A seed was planted. Rather than explicit, see, and I wouldn't be able to understand none of this shit, the darkness, this, the veil, this, the negative experience, this, I wouldn't be able to understand all this shit if I came right into the Qabalah. You see what I'm saying? Shit wouldn't have made no sense to me if I wouldn't have got the Phil Valentine, the Dr. Delbert Blairs, the Bobby Hemmings, and the Brother Panics. Because those are my teachers from YouTube. Some I'm in person, but you know, YouTube. You see what I'm saying? Internet. Rather than explicit instruction, which would convey nothing to him. So we tell them motherfuckers, do this, and that. That ain't gonna mean shit to a nigga. Did what I'm saying? That ain't gonna mean shit to a nigga. It wouldn't convey nothing to him. It wouldn't give him a goddamn thing. Nigga. You niggas. You nigga. Look at that. I'm liking this Zoom shit with this new camera nigga got. He like, what happening, Shawty? I'm like, what happening, Shawty? East side, south side. You know, niggas. I'm just childish. Okay, the seed sentence then which we cast into the subconscious mind of the reader, is this. Pimp CPA trio, nigga. Holo, fuck that heel figure. Kether is the Malkuth of the unmanifest. Mather says. And I think this is Mathers as in Marshall Mathers. His grandfather, Eminem granddaddy, was an occultist and a respected one too. Okay, Kether is the Malkuth of the unmanifest, right? Let's look at this. Kether is the Malkuth of the unmanifest. So the unmanifest exists all out here, right? Where my mic, where this is going, shit that don't exist there, but is potential energy. And like you see what I'm saying, but when you get down here in this tree, Kether is the highest point of the tree. But for the unmanifest, the shit that exists out here, Kether is the Malkuth. What's Malkuth? Malkuth is the lowest point of manifestation. Malkuth is the lowest point of manifestation. All right. Kether is now the lowest point of unmanifestation. God damn. Kether is the Malkuth of the unmanifest, right? That which has not come into existence, but it exists because it's everything that can exist and will exist comes from it, right? And what Mathers calls a limitless ocean of negative light. The limitless ocean of negative light does not proceed from a center. It doesn't come from a center like this here. It doesn't come from a center. But what? For it is centerless. It has no center. It just is everything that it is. And it's everywhere. But it concentrates a center. You see what I'm saying? But it concentrates a center. It makes one. Okay? Which is the number one of the manifestic Sephra. Kether, the crown, the first Sephra. See, here, in this level of existence, what we can perceive as God, God is the highest thing ever. There's nothing higher than God. You can't get past God. It's God and nothing. It's only God. But outside of that, something greater exists, buddy. Outside of that, something better. Not even, I won't even say better. That's human terminology. Better and good and bad and evil. None of that, right? It's something that it comes from, though. It's something that's higher than it. Shit, even higher is a concept of humans, but all right. 8. These words themselves contain contradictions. These words themselves contain contradictions, but for the untrained mind, you wouldn't. This already makes sense to me, even if I hadn't read this first part already. This already makes sense to me because I was able to grasp concepts already. It's hard to understand and study something if you don't have no concepts of what the fuck you doing, right? These words themselves contain contradictions and unthinkable negative and unthinkable. Negative light is, now I want to read that smoother so it makes sense to y'all. These words in themselves contain contradictions and unthinkable. All right. Negative light is simply a way of saying that the thing described, though having certain qualities in common with light, is nevertheless not light as we know it. They have the same qualities, but at the same time, it's not light in a terms of what a human mind thinks as light. Penny used to say the darkness actually is a form of light. By him, you say the darkness actually is a form of light. This tells us very little about that which is intellected. And I know that's intelled to describe. Let's look at what the fuck does that mean. Okay. This tells us very little about that which is hard to describe, basically. I bet. Let's look at these words, man. Oh, come on, man. Just show me shit. We can use context clues, but shit, I want to get it. It's good. That's not intended. That's not what I'm. Because if it was just entailed, it would just say entail, but it's entailed, indeed. Entailed it to describe. Fuck it, man. Y'all look it up. Y'all find it on y'all own. Do some homework. We are told not to make the mistake of thinking of it as light, but we are not. Hold up. We are told to not. Come on. Hold up, y'all. God damn it. Fuck, man. We are told not to make the mistake of thinking of it as light, but we are not told how to think of it as it really is. We are told, oh, let's read that again. We are told not to make the mistake thinking of it as light in the way that we think of light. But we are not told how to think of it as it really is. So we're not told how to think of it as the way it really is. And but we are told not to think of it as light in the way that we see light. Woo-hoo. And for the very good reason that the mind is not equipped with any images under which to represent. You can't fathom a picture of the great nothingness unmanifest on so far. You can't even picture the shit. So it's best to not try to, right? It, hold up. And for the very good reason that the mind is not equipped with the images under which to represent it, and must, God damn, man, and must therefore let it alone to growth takes place. All right. The spiritual growth to a level of consciousness and awareness takes place. Nevertheless, although these words do not tell us all that we would like to know, they convey certain images to imagination. You see what I'm saying? Now it's create. I know it's doing something in your head because it do something in my head. That's why I be telling niggas read, bro. It stretches the imagination anyway, right? And then all this shit is about imagination. They convey certain images to imagination. These sink into the subconscious mind, which are related to them. Thus, knowledge grows from, hold up. Thus, knowledge grows from more, hold up. Thus, knowledge grows from more to more. When the Kabbalistic method is given its practical application as the yoga of the West. Mm-mm. The Kabbalists recognize four planes of manifestation and the three planes of unmanifestation or negative existence. All right. All right. The first plane is called ain. See, now I need to go back to my book so I can highlight this shit. Fuck is nine at over here, blood? I get cuz name out the back and tell him it's blood. Hey, get cuz out the back. Man, niggas I ain't gonna play with my nigga like that. Cause I really come from niggas who grew up gang banging. You see what I'm saying? I'm childish like that around them niggas, but now I'm on fucking YouTube. Like I ain't even gonna play with niggas like that though. Um, so the first place of these is called aim. And aim is what? Negativity. The second, okay, let's see here. The second is ain sof. Okay, right? We getting this? This is what exists. Okay, let's take a picture back so folks can see. This is what exists out. So imagine one level here, one level there, one level there, right? It's 3 levels. Okay. Or just imagine one level here, one level there, and okay, let's do it. One level here, one level there, one level here. And then you get the God that you conceive right here, right? All right. So let's see here. The second is called Ein Sof or An Sof. All right. And what's Ein Sof? The limitless, right? Then we have the third. Oh, it's the first two together and then plus one more addition. On so far or on so far. On so far. When you say it together, it sounds like sulfur, but it's on so far, right? I got the book over here and I ain't read this far, so I'm highlighting because I ain't got this far in reading the book. I just want to do the video. The third, on so far, the limitless light. Okay. And today, when I first busted this book out, this was my first time reading. I was literally just reading, bro, and I just said, "Fuck that!" My new little camera came in. They were like, "Let me get on the camera for them folks. Create some content as soon as I get it. Why would I bullshit?" Then I got the little mic right here. Then the nigga got the mic. Went and grabbed the mic. Nigga got the mic. Is it recording my voice? Yeah, nigga went and got the mic. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. It's the boy TIP. What happening, shouter? You young niggas don't know shit about tip. It is out of this last that Kether is concentrated. All right, so we got these 3 levels, and it is out of this last that Kether is concentrated. These 3 terms are called the 3 veils of negative existence. All right, turn my page over here. Really ain't got that far more to go, but it is out of these 3 terms are called the 3 veils of existence. Depending back, hold up, depending back, because I gotta read it on the screen, y'all. It'd be better if I can read it from my book, but I want y'all to be able to highlight and see when I'm reading it. Depending back on Kether, in other words, they are the, I won't change the page. They are the algebraic symbol. They are the algebraic symbol that enable us to think of that which transcends thought. So let's go back, right? These 3 terms are called the 3 veils of negative existence, right? Which is just 3 different levels of light, or actually darkness. We call it darkness, but it's actually light, but not light in the sense that we can perceive it, right? Depending back from Kether. So they start, from my point of view, Kether is up, right? So they behind Kether, right? It's behind Kether. In other words, they are the algebraic symbols that enable us to think of that which transcends thought. So we had to give something as a representation. That's crazy. You have to get something to think about. You had to come up with a thought that gives a symbol, right? Because you had to come up with some type of form of symbol that leads you to understanding like this is what enables us to think of that. Think of something that really transcends thought within itself. Like you say, the best way to do it is come up with symbols, in which at the same time hide that which they represent. At the same time, it's a symbol to give you something that describes something, but at the same time, the actual symbol actually hides what the fuck it is that we're trying to describe with the symbol. God damn, that's some real occult shit. They are the masks of transcendent realities. If we think out of the states of negative existence in terms of anything that we know, we shall err. Err. If that's is that what you mean? I don't know because it's written at a different time. I don't know what the fuck that means. We shall err. Err. I don't get it. Type shit. For whatever else they may be, we may err. We shall err for whatever else they may be. They cannot be that. They being unmanifest, the expression veils, therefore teaches us to use these ideas as counters. So we got to give you some because we can't even conceive it, bro. The best thing to tell you is that it's veils. All we can tell you, we know this shit exists. It has to exist. Everything else out here exists because of this. But the best way to give it to you is express it as veils. Because we can't perceive it. It's got to be a veil. That's what the human mind does. See what I'm saying? That's what the human mind does. Therefore, it teaches us to use these ideas as counters. If no value in it, of no value in themselves, but useful to us in our calculations. These words have no value, really. You know what I'm saying? It's the actual itness of the it. But we have to give you something so your little puny mind, including me as a human, so your little puny mind can calculate what the fuck I'm talking about. This is the true use of all symbols. Lady, all white. These ain't no forages. What do you say, horages? It's a symbol. That's the true use of all symbols, right? That's why I showed the glasses like rocking shit like off white Gucci and all that. They have no fucking value. Designer shit has no fucking value. You see what I'm saying? It's just a symbol to equate to something. What are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is when niggas walk all the design shit, babe, I got money. I got money, babe. I ain't broke. That's what we alluding to, right? And what does that say? This is the true use of all symbols, nigga. They veil that which they represent until we can reduce them to the terms we can comprehend. We reduce these symbols. These symbols play as veils to block, right? And just speak to the subconscious mind, right? They block the conscious mind, right? So it's a veil. A veil is a blocker, right? Which they represent, right? This veil represents something until we can reduce these levels of understanding of this thing to a term that we can actually comprehend. Nevertheless, they enable us to use our, nevertheless, they enable us to use in our calculations ideas which could otherwise be unthinkable. Okay? Damn. I probably highlight here. What up? Ladies, all white. These ain't no Horachs. Like I told y'all, I was reading the book, so I ain't even get this far. So I gotta highlight it. They represent until we can reduce them to terms we can comprehend. Hey, this bitch Dion Fortune is a badass bitch. No, if I was born back then, I probably had me a white girl, and I'd have been fucking Dion Fortune. Okay. Right. All right. All right, let me go back. I'm gonna read what it said before. Read it out the book. This is the true use of all symbols. They veil that which they represent until we can reduce them to terms that we comprehend. Nevertheless, they enable us to use in our calculation ideas, which would um otherwise be unthinkable if we didn't have these ways to calculate it. And as the essence of the tree lies in the fact it causes its symbols to eludicate. Let's see what eludicate means. I ain't gonna front to y'all like I know what all these words mean. But to elude to something, right? Obviously, but let's make sure. Man, I don't feel like we know it means to allude to something, right? Eludicate. Eludicate. Make something clear, right? We're alluding to something, right? All right. Okay. And as the essence of the tree lies in the fact that it causes its symbols to eludicate one another by means of their relative positions, right? Make something make sense and make it clear, explain something, right? So if we talking about eludicate one another by the means of their relative positions, we're talking about, damn, I gotta close that. Hold up. Fuck, man. That time to keep changing the page. I ain't tell it change the page, huh? Let's delete. Let's get back to the. Oh, man. Damn. See, y'all can't see what I see on my screen, but shit is in the way and I can't get to the tree of life. All right. Okay. So each tree, each tree, each one of these eludicate to each other. You see what I'm saying? They explain the next one. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Um, by means of their relative positions. These veils serve as scaffolding of thought, enabling us to take our bearings in regions as yet uncharted. Mm. Enabling us to take the bearings, I'm assuming that means like our treasures or the things that we know, our knowledge and wisdom, into regions that have been uncharted, right? Or our pride, or our possessions into regions that we have yet uncharted. Such veils or non-concrete symbols are, however, of no value to us unless one side of the veil abuts upon known country. Okay, such veils or non-concrete symbols are, however, of no value to us unless one side of the veil abuts upon known country. So these it has no value to us, like well, these symbols have no value to us unless the veil can at least be perceived in a place of knowing, a place that we know about or that we have or that we're knowledgeable of. So you can't even perceive certain things unless you're knowledgeable of them. That's the simplest way to put it. You ain't perceiving shit that you ain't even fucking aware of, right? If you ain't aware of air, you can't even think of air, but air is there. All right. These veils, in fact, while they conceal that which they represent. So while they hide whatever they represent, check this out, enable us to see clearly that to which they form a background. All right. They, even though it's a veil, it's there playing this part to make us see what it's actually veiling us from. No, not what it's veiling us from, but what it's a veil behind. Let's say that. You see what I'm saying? what it's a veil behind, because something's in front of it that we can perceive, right? Enable us to see clearly to what which they form a background. So it's a background to whatever we're perceiving. This is their function. And the only reason they are referred to is it is only by reason of our infirmities that it is only by reason of our infirmities that we need to have these unresolvable symbols presented to us. In the mind discipline in esoteric philosophy, soon learns to work within these limitations and accept as a painted veil the symbol of that which lies beyond its ken. Ooh, in the mind of the discipline and not in, but and the mind of the discipline in esoteric philosophy, soon, right? My time of sooning is coming here now. I'm getting to it. Learns to work within these limitations and accept as a painted veil the symbol of which lies beyond its ken. I gotta accept that's what it is, and I get that when I get there. You know what I'm saying? Get my understanding when I get my understanding. But I understand that these things are all related. They are kin. This way lies the unfoldment of wisdom, for the mind grows with what it feeds upon, right? So as I'm going further and further up of the tree or getting understanding, my mind is actually growing. It's feeding on this type shit. And what did it say? One sephra or one part of the tree. Let's get back to the picture. This part right here, this part, this part right here, alludes to 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 this part right here. So as I'm eating more, candy, you know how the cartoon, a piece of candy, piece of candy, piece of candy, till you get to the actual point where your ass is done for. In one of these days, when we have climbed to Kether, we may hope to stretch out our hands and rend the veil and look through into the limitless light. Woo, nigga, that's the goals, ain't it? Okay. The esotericist does not limit himself by declaring the unknown to be the unknowable. We don't say that the unknown is unknowable. That's of ignorance. Why would I say some shit like that? For he is above all things an evolutionist and knows that which we cannot compass today, we may achieve tomorrow. Of cosmic time. Nigga, we on cosmic time. You know what I'm saying? We ain't one of the motherfuckers like, what? Nope, can't get to it, don't know it, shouldn't know it, got it, ain't know it, that's the end of that, that's the cap on that, we'll never know it. That ain't how esotericists or an occultist or a true spiritualist or a true conscious person thinks, right? He knows too that evolutionary time is an individual matter. Evolution is an individual matter upon the inner planes and is measured, not regulated. Nigga, evolution ain't regulated. I mean, damn, yeah, it's not regulated, right? By whatever you say, no, evolution gotta be like this. Nope, can't go no further, can't do this, can't do that. It's measured, nigga. However long the ruler stick gets, that's how far we gotta keep going and measuring. That's what we dealing with over here. You see what I'm saying? You niggas putting cap on shit. That's cow. That's cow. You niggas putting cap on shit. You see what I'm saying? It says he knows too that evolutionary time is an individual matter upon the plane, upon the inner planes, and is measured, not regulated by you lame man niggas. Nigga lame man. By the revolution of the earth upon its axis, nigga. These three veils, right? Ain, negativity, Ain Sof, the limitless, and Ain Sof are the limitless light. though we can hope to understand them, nevertheless suggest to out minds, suggest, oh, no, 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 no. Though we cannot hope to understand them, nevertheless suggest to outmine certain ideas, or our minds, is that a typo? Suggest to outmine certain ideas. Negativity implies being of existence of a nature which we cannot comprehend. That's it. When we talk about negativity, right? Something that you just can't comprehend with your little puny human mind. Humans, that's it. We cannot conceive of a thing which 35, I think that's saying page 35. Why did it say that? Okay, yeah, that's what it says. We cannot conceive of a thing which is and is yet not. God damn, this bitch cold. I gotta highlight that over. I ain't even in my book. Hold up, y'all. We cannot conceive of a thing which is and yet is not. You don't even know what that fucking means. You can't accept that. How is it something, but it's not nothing at the same time? Man, that's stupid. That don't make sense. That's ignorant. Once you get to these certain levels, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can accept that. You have to get to a point where you accept that something can be nothing and everything at the same time. It can be something and nothing at the same time. We have never had any conscious, we cannot conceive of a thing which is and yet is not. Therefore, we must conceive of a form of being of which we have never had any conscious experience, a form of being which, according to our concepts of existence, does not exist. And yet, does not exist. And yet, if one may express it so, existing exist according to its own idea of existence. That shit there. Listen here, man. She talks in these fucking ways. I get it though. You see what I'm saying? I get it. Let me try to make it make sense. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna actually stop right here because it's about time for nigga to go. We cannot conceive of a thing which is, I don't know which 35. They took a word, they fucked it up. Because I'm reading in my book. Matter of fact, let me read it in my book, y'all. I'm gonna just highlight the section we finna read. All right. We cannot conceive of a thing which is and yet is not. So we talk about the manifested, unmanifest, the unmanifest, the unmanifest, right? Which is the great nothingness, right? It's not that it's not nothing, right? Is what I'm trying to explain here. It's not that it's not nothing. It just has no form, right? It's what they call chaos or potential energy. It can become anything. You see what I'm saying? So imagine having a ball of dough or a ball of that gooey shit that kids use, or just having some clay, right? It has no form. And then you can create this, you can mold this clay into any fucking thing. That's the best way I can give it to you. And that right there is even a terrible example. Once you get down what this shit really is, the best way we can comprehend it, you got some clay, it ain't got no form, right? So it has no definition yet, other than it being clay, right? That's all you can tell. It's clay. That's all I know. Well, it's the unmanifest manifest. Therefore, we cannot conceive of a thing which is and is yet not. Therefore, we must conceive of a form of being which we have never had any conscious experience. So we're trying to conceive something that we have never even had experience with. If you don't have any experience of, you can't even conceive something, it's no way it can exist to you till you break through these levels of ego saying something has to. You see what I'm saying? It has to exist in within my five senses, or it's not real, nigga. It ain't real if it ain't in my senses. If I can't taste it, touch it, smell it, fucking lick it, stick it, flick it. It ain't real. That's how niggas think. That's how humans think. Therefore, we must conceive of a form of a being of which we have never had any conscious experience, a form of a being which, according to our concepts of existence, according to what we say exists, does not exist. It can't exist if we can't explain what it is. And our thoughts and our conscious awareness of what we call existence, it don't exist in. How? When it can't exist in our concept of what we call existence. Humans, ego, ego. And yet, if one and okay, and yet, if one may express it so, exists according to its own idea of existence. If one may express it so, exists according to its own idea of existence. In the words of a very wise man, there are things in heaven, in earth, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophy. Before we can even, the shit that we can even dream about is way more of that shit that exists in heavens and the earth. And on earth, nigga. The way you try to philosophize God. Look at you. So egotistical, putting God in a box. You have no idea what God is. Humans, you have no idea. If you like that, motherfuck the big three, nigga. It just beat me. You know, we got the three, Ein Sof, Ein Sof, Ein Sofar, Ein Sof, and Ein Sofar. That boy said, fuck the big three. It just beat me. It's ego. What? This. Oh, sounds cool though. I like it. That's just this. Fuck, ain't nobody above me. I'm a jealous God. There's no God before me. Ain't no three levels before me. Ain't no Ein Sof and Ein Sofar. Ein Sof and Ein Sofar. Ain't no none of that. Fuck the big three. Nigga, it just beat me. It's just me. I'm Kevin, nigga. Yeah, nigga, I'm Kevin. Yeah. You regular ass nigga. You jive ass nigga. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophy. You niggas ain't gonna be able to philosophize God, man. You niggas ain't gonna be able to do it, man. Hold up, man. I'm trying to make sure, boy, getting down over here with. Hold up, man. I ain't trying to do all that. Why just trying to pull that screen on up? Yes, sir. Stop the square. Stop the square. Stop the square. Stop the share. Bam. Oh no. Bam. We just okay. How you stop the share? Stop the screen share at all. Damn, I wish I had some fucking help over here. But all right. Ladies off whites. These are no horachos. Ladies off whites. These are no horachos. Yeah, man. So you know what we tapped into today, man? The mystical Qabalah, man. Dion Fortune, man. This bitch is a bad bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're reading right now as far as what it goes with my boy Trav, man. Travis Majors, man. We tapping into that right now, you know what I'm saying? And it's dope to have a group reading session, especially with other occultists or conscious folks like who's on this level of awareness though. Make sure my head straight. They be talking about me, man. You niggas ain't finna be talking about me, man. And man, this guy's level of understanding, man. I love it. And I got the utmost respect for Trav, man. Long live the pan. That's all I gotta say. Long live the pan. I definitely fuck with Trav and the way that he's breaking this shit down, bro. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's what it is. Y'all just read chapter 5 For the most part, I think we had like two more six, two, three, four. We left off chat verse 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We only had like 14, like 5 more sections to go. But get the book. Telling y'all, man. The way she break that shit down, if you own that type shit right about now, you know what I'm saying? But I still say get it for when you get to that type shit. Real shit, bro. This shit makes this level of understand. And like I said, man, if you wanna like seeds were already planted into my mind. You know what I'm saying? For him, the OGs already speak on this type shit. So now it's easier for me to understand. Did that. Just the God. Remember, man, no obstacles will apprehend you. And this is all about my gnosis, my knowing, what I've come into knowing. And what I know today, what I don't know today, I may know tomorrow. And what I know today, I may not feel like I know that shit no more. But that ain't that I don't know that shit no more. That shit might not be the truth to me no more. Tomorrow, maybe something else may be the truth. That's part of evolving around this motherfucker, man. You gotta push that ego out the way because you know, oh yeah, God's this and the soul that, and niggas this and white folks that. Niggas be like that for the rest of their life and they ain't evolving, you know. Make sure you evolve on a mental, spiritual, psychic level, nigga. We growing. Did that. It's the God.